everybody. Today, this is Tanya, one of our consultants.
Hi.
Kayla's the little videotaper behind the scenes that you may not see. So we're going to kind of go through doing a makeover. I really encourage a lot of you that if you are doing shows, offer that hostess a free makeover. You could come a few minutes early, maybe like 5 minutes early, and do her makeup for her. Two things are going to happen by doing that. First of all, she's going to look wonderful and be color matched, so when she gets her hostess shopping spree, she's going to know what colors. Second of all, it is a great thing to have her in her makeup so that all the other people, her friends, are going to see what she looks like, and she can obviously then kind of talk about how easy it was, how the makeup is feeling. I think that's the biggest thing most people see with our makeup. Dual actions, liquid foundations really aren't feeling that heavy, cakey feeling that we unfortunately thought was the norm. And so, I really love doing that. So I'm going to this is obviously going to take longer than it would normally do for a makeover, only because I want to talk to you about the steps that I'm doing and explain the why of what I'm doing versus just quickly doing a quick 5 minutes, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is, obviously you want to start with somebody with a clean face. Also make sure they're moisturized. I find that if there's if they don't have moisturizer on, the dual actions liquid foundations aren't going to go on as nice as they can. Now, I will be honest, when I'm doing a makeover on somebody, especially if we're looking at trying to color match, I'm not always worried about her being symmetrical as far as looks. So I personally, when I'm doing something initially, I will usually say, I know you're probably prone to liquids, you're prone to dual actions, but let's just do one half of your face one way and one half the other way. Reason being is sometimes you will see a big difference in how their face is looking from one to the next, sometimes how their pores are, etc. And so we want to make sure that we're giving her the best look that she wants. So we're going to start out, liquid foundations. I have them here in order from 1 to 5, going with, from lightest to dark. A couple things that I will tell you if you aren't familiar with liquid foundations. So number 1 and number 4 are the two that go together. So the 4 is the darker shade of a number 1. So if you have somebody during the winter that is a 1, but they really get tan in the summer, then go to number 4. Same thing, 2 and 5. 2 is a lighter shade of 5. Number 3 is all by itself. It is a very pink foundation. There are very few people, just so you know, that are number 3s. There are some out there, but very few. When you're doing a makeover, your kits, if you bought the makeup, came with these face charts. If you didn't get them in the kit, or you're interested in the makeup, they are in your under your consultant only items you can buy. Definitely encourage you. They are hard. I personally copy mine after that, so I don't rebuy them, but it's nice to be able to fill in as you go what you're putting on that person, so that they can then keep those records in case they're not buying everything right away. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to start with Tanya. We're going to do half her face liquid, half her face dual action. So, it is going to be very much a trial and error for you when you're starting, because probably not really sure what to guess, and that's okay. So, I'm going to be very dramatic and show you. Always do not want to be putting your fingers on their face. We are not licensed cosmetologists, so technically we should not be touching their face. There's a couple times I will ask permission, because I find doing the concealer does go on a little better with your own little hands. So I don't know, are you usually a concealer girl or not?
I usually don't wear concealer.
Okay, so you could or could not do. So take a pad.
But concealer is really great too for blemishes, if they have blemishes.
Yeah, so if you've got blemishes, or if they've got any discolorations that maybe are a little more pronounced, doing a liquid concealer definitely will help. So makeup wedge, whatever, you can buy makeup wedges in the store, you know, so you're going to take a little bit. I'm going to start with the one just because we're going to start with the thing. So want to be testing on their face. You kind of want to do, you know, a small area of their skin and kind of rub it, you know, kind of apply it to see. What we're doing is kind of starting to check to see how they're toned. Now Tanya does have a lot of redness into her skin, which I'm sure is what she wants to cover, because if you look at the rest of her skin, it is not red. So we're trying to see if we can kind of help cover that, but match her skin more down to what her chin and her chest is going to look like. So that's the number one. Then what you can do is, I do this all the time, you can use this pad, you know, if you think about it, there are 4 corners, so you have 8. So take a different corner, and then we're going to do the number 2 kind of next to it. Okay, you already can kind of, and I don't know if Kayla can kind of see, but you can see here that this is really a lot darker on her skin than the number 1. And so you can tell already that is not a good match for her. Okay, so you know, if you want, you can just, I kind of like, sorry, but kind of you want to kind of pull that color back off, because we know that color's not it. We'll just give you the example also of the number 3, just so you kind of see what the number 3, and let me go down farther this way. So are you using our makeup at all, Tanya?
Not on a regular basis.
Okay, and are you using the duals or the liquids?
Well, I didn't get my Labri kit yet,
Okay,
but I was
okay.
using liquids before.
Okay, okay. And so that one there is the number 3. I don't know if we can really see much of it. But it's definitely keeping more of the, you can see it, but you can see that it's definitely more the pink tones. It's definitely keeping more of the pink in her skin. Now, if she's not liking the more pink tones, then I'm going to say, you know, probably get away from that. So you're saying I don't like the pink tones?
No.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to do half of her face with the foundation. And you just kind of want to, you know, apply it. Also go ahead, put it on that eye, because that liquid foundation on the eye is going to help be a primer for the eyes. So that will help set your eye makeup and help it stay on a little better. So, you know, make sure you're doing that as well. So you just kind of want to, you know, blend it in. Obviously, you know, when somebody is doing their makeup themselves, they certainly, with ours, if they want, they certainly can use their fingers applying it. Okay, so that is going to be liquid on that side. So now we're going to go on the other side and try doing the dual actions. Now, the benefit of the dual actions, twofold if you aren't really knowing much about Labri. Well, let's back up. First of all, liquid foundations, hopefully you all know they come in a perfect finish and an oil-free. So if somebody obviously is blemished or very oily, you know, make sure you're ordering the number 1 as an oil-free. If somebody's normal combo, really dry, you want to order the number 1 as a perfect finish. Obviously with the dual actions, we have a lot more color choices, which, you know, is a great thing. You can kind of maybe get a little bit better. The one thing about too, once we color match her on the dual actions, that
This kit is also for consultants only, that you can buy this little kit if you don't have it.
Correct, yeah,
You
so-
bought just the skincare set.
so this
you
is
can always buy that.
yeah, so this is in, you know, in your consultant only items. So, you know, you can definitely buy this. I think it's like $98. Just like, and if you aren't familiar with our makeup, all of our makeup like these, all the dual actions, and like if you're ordering an eyeshadow in these and the blush, order them as the refills. They're all held in here magnetically. You pop it out and then just put a new one in. Same thing with like the little 4 packs of the eyeshadows. They're all held in there magnetically too. So I tend to use my highlighter a lot more. I order the refill, pop the other one out, pop it in. Super saving money on people for eyeshadows. But yeah, so, you know, don't hesitate to buy one of these. They're really, really great. So that's it. Obviously it comes with little cheater charts too, which are really super nice. And so Tanya, we're going to kind of like color match her too. So I'm going to now, same deal, do a couple lines of color on her face. Again, you know, you want to be turning and doing. It's really dark. Yeah. And see already Kayla back here is going, oh, that's really dark. So see, she's getting good at this. You can really see. So this one here is the number 31. And if you again go, there is a chart in the library that kind of coordinates, you know, okay, if you know what liquid foundation it usually will give you a couple choices of what dual action. So I know she's light. She's either going to be a 31, 41, or probably a 28. So that really eliminates to me really quickly to what she wants. So definitely have that chart as a reference. So obviously the 41 has a little bit more beigey tones into it, and that's why it's really appearing darker on Tanya's skin. The 31 has a little bit more, I'm gonna say a little more pinky tones-ish too, and that's why it's finding that it's really calming her skin down. So I tend to load up the pad because obviously I want to try to get on, you know, once with her face, and kind of go back. If you're going to go back, you know, make sure you're taking a new corner and, you know, going back over and doing, you know, get her eyes as well. Now that we know she is a 31, if you are doing the liquid foundations, you can take one of the bigger makeup brushes that you can buy individually, or you can obviously buy the makeup set, and you can use the dual action then, oops, on the side, to be your set, you know, to set the liquid foundation with a powder. Obviously, the dual action powders are an oil-free makeup, all of them, and they do have an SPF protection in it, which also some people really enjoy as well. So,
so why are they called dual action, Beth?
oh, good question, Miss Kayla. They're called dual action for several things. Obviously, 3 things you can do. So obviously the first thing is, it can be your entire makeup. You can use it as a setting makeup, or if you get, you know, you can get the pad or get a little water, they can also become a liquid. So, you know, you can turn the powder into a liquid. So if some people maybe want to have a little bit more of, you know, conceal, you know, put a little bit on liquid on those blemishes first rather than a concealer, you certainly can do that. So great question. All right, Tanya, so now we're going to have you just kind of look from side to side and see what you're seeing. For some reason, I can see that I got that dark splash in your face there from that other one that didn't match. So sometimes you will see, as far as their pores, sometimes one of them will predominantly make their pores appear more. Sometimes I find, especially with a lot of more of the rosacea people, sometimes that dual action does a much better job of, you know, hiding and covering that pink skin, I find, than the liquids do.
Yes, I like this side better than this side.
Exactly. So to me, hands down, this side is totally covering and even your skin tone out much more than that side. All right, so we're just going to be kind of nice, and we'll kind of try to go back and even you out a little bit here now.
Thank you.
But you can, yeah, I mean, you could really see the difference in it really covering your redness in your skin much, much better. To me, it just really kind of fills it in and naturally without really seeing that tone. I mean, I can see a big difference now going back over the side. I mean, take a look now when we've got your whole face done. Huge difference on this side now.
Mm-hmm.
About it really covering and doing your skin. So hopefully you guys are seeing that. But you know, go play around with it. If you're uncertain about makeup, have fun with it. Maybe
Invite somebody over
your
for a
friends.
one-on-one.
Yeah, invite some of your friends over and saying, hey, I need to practice, I need to learn, would you be willing to come over? Let's do it. I actually do actual live makeup shows. So, if I'm doing shows and all of a sudden, the people that are coming, they've all, been on a skincare, we'll say, hey, how about doing a makeup show? And I will go and they'll have, and we will color match and do everybody's makeup. It's a fun way, but it's also really, I've been really successful with those. So definitely,
I did a bunch of those in February when our skincare or our makeup was 25% off.
Yeah, that was.
And one of my shows was like $700 from just doing the makeup party. Granted, they ordered other things that they needed, but a lot of people who didn't even wear makeup before were like, wow, I really like how this makeup feels on my face. It's light. And that's what I fell in love with too, is Labri makeup is so light. It doesn't feel like you're caking it on like you said earlier.
Yeah.
It's so light on your face. It doesn't ever feel like you're wearing anything.
Yeah, and that I think is the big thing is, and remember, our liquid foundation and our dual action powders are also aloe based. Super unusual. No mineral oils, no clogging things in that. If you have somebody as an acne person, I highly, highly, highly recommend you get them on our makeup. It is critical that if they are trying our skincare and they're using their pore clogging mineral based moisture, foundations, dual actions, whatever they're using, you're not going to be successful. So getting them on our makeup is a huge point in transitioning that person from that acne. So, that's kind of a great tip. Here it doesn't matter. We can kind of do eyes, you can do blushes, kind of whichever way you want to go. Now, the eyeshadows are obviously broken down into mattes, pearls, high pearls. There's also brush on brows. I definitely encourage you to do brows. Brows are typically something somebody avoids doing. So practical purpose, we've got the lovely, they're not the best, but they will serve the little eyeshadow applicators that you can buy, again, as a consultant in your own area. So, you kind of just want to take, again, she's pretty light, so we're just going to kind of go and get the color in, but you kind of want to try to, find that natural line and kind of just fill them in. But it will make a big difference in how their skin and how you're kind of like framing their eyes. One thing you can do, your kid also, if you want to buy the little mascara brushes, you can take them and kind of go back the makeup and kind of like brush it to kind of get it feathered a little bit more. But you will see that it does a much better job of framing her eyes by that. Mm-hmm. So hopefully you're seeing that. So you always want to start with the upper eye. You want to start with an eye, and I didn't even pay attention. Blue eyes, okay.
Green.
Green. Oh, they are kind of green. Oh, okay, see if I should look really close. She is right. So eyeshadows, when you're doing, you can do one of two ways. You can say to the client, okay, if you were going to do your eyeshadows, what would you do? And we can pick hers and put hers on. I tend to do that on one of her eyes, and then I say, well, how about let me pick one and I'll do one on the other side. Obviously, she may not be even. We can always take one of them off and reply. But sometimes they see something that's totally different, how they look, that they never would have pushed themselves into. And that's part of our goal. If you're not sure, go ahead in the catalog and look at the pre-made eyeshadow kits. They'll tell you for blue-green eyes, for brown eyes, so it helps you in kind of pick. In cheating, I actually put it on mine in the beginning, BL for blue, BR for brown. So in green, green, I kind of put a little permanent marker on those. So if I wasn't sure in the beginning, I knew I was safe defaulting to those because more than likely, those are the ones that they should feel good with. So according to Labri, a green eye person would use the Cream Glow eye highlighter. You want to try to make sure you're really loading up. Eyeshadows are a thing you absolutely do not want to put on an eye, take your applicator and put it back on. if you're gonna do, you've got to make sure you're always going to a clean surface, because eyes are the one place we really could get a lot of contamination. And the last thing you ever want to do with any of our makeup is pass contamination from one person to another. So we're just going to go ahead, and you're actually going to put the highlighter on the entire eye. You will find that sometimes that people have a lot of like purpley blue, especially in this bottom part of the eye. What happens by putting the highlighter on there, it helps kind of cover that color in their skin. So when you put, you know, a color on their lid, it becomes a more true color to their eye. Make sense, Tanya?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if somebody has more prominent bags or dark circles under their eyes, would you put the concealer on before you put the dual action or
Yes.
foundation on?
Yep. So if somebody, good question, Kayla. So yeah, I would definitely do concealer, you know, under that eye, and then you want to put the makeup on top of it and set it so, and kind of blend it in if they're a very dark circle under their eyes. So that is the color that LeBri. Is there a color, Tanya, you would like to try on the other side, or as far as a highlighter that you kind of want to see?
Cream glow is what we used last time.
Look at that. See?
I'll just go with.
You're going to go with that? Okay.
I'll just go with it.
So we're going to then go back and finish her up on this side. Now, the one thing I want to stress more than anything, we are not trained makeup artists. Don't feel like you have to get her makeup perfect, or especially when it comes to the eyes. You know, tell them, you know, we're here really to, you know, do your makeup, color match, etc. You know, I've had some clients that are way better at their makeup than I am, and I'm like, well, if you want to put it on, you know, and test it, go ahead. I'm fine with that.
I usually give them the option, like if you're comfortable putting your own makeup on, I can direct you on what colors we should try.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll do it and I'll say, if you don't like how I put it on, feel free to mess with it or
Yeah.
tweak it or do
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Exactly.
It does not offend me in any way because I am not a licensed cosmetologist. So this is just to direct you to kind of show you how you look with our makeup on and have you get a feel for it. So by being honest with them, they're usually very okay with saying, sure, no problem. And then usually they'll be like, are you sure it's okay if I tweak it? Just, go right ahead. It's whatever's your comfort. If you really like to have it really wide or thick and I did it too thin, do whatever makes you comfortable. Always be honest with the customer because I think that goes a long way. So close your eyes once so we can just see. No, Beth, if you used one of these and you didn't get enough on one side, you could always use the other.
I flip. So if you,
So
you don't
you
think
can
about
always
it, there are
flip.
4 sides. So, you know, definitely keep flipping. You know, I do that. I try to be proactive and try to use
Use
at least
one,
amount.
yeah.
But, you know, don't do this, put it on and go back, then turn it. You can see I did that. I went on the other side because
Okay.
I went back to do some more. Okay, so lid color. What did you guys do before?
We had Heather and Ice.
Ooh, okay. And how did you like that?
I liked it. It didn't show up a lot. But
Okay.
It made her eyes like pop.
All right.
The
well,
green came out in her eyes big time.
Okay.
So if you didn't notice, she had green eyes before.
Okay,
So let's do one eyelid in the Heather and Ice.
So Heather Nice again is a color that LeBri is recommending for the lid. You know, I'm just kind of like gonna start. You kind of want to go kind of to the middle of that eye, and just kind of keep on applying and coming around and to kind of blend. And you know, it's all about blending. You know, don't feel bad. You know, obviously that the part that you have already dipped, you certainly can go back on her own eye and blend with that highlighter if you feel like, oh God, I went a little too high, etc. So you just kind of want to go with that. All right, so go ahead and open your eyes, Tanya. So it's there, it's not real, you know, and again, it's one thing I will say, you know, I usually tend to put eye makeup on light as well as blushes. It's much easier to put more on than to take it back off. You know, so if she would say, well, I like it a little darker, I can put more on. So dark enough for you, or where are you feeling at this point?
That's good.
Okay. Uh, we're gonna do, let's just do something different, different on the other side.
That's my favorite.
So we're gonna do a little one different on the other side, just for her to see a difference. So I'm gonna do pink champagne. Of course, I'm gonna get a cough. Oh, jeez, I'm coughing. I am so sorry.
I
Okay,
need a glass of water quick.
I may go grab one. All right, Heather, or Tanya, I'm gonna let you do your.
I can take over if you'd like me to.
Sure.
Oh, hi.
So we got Heather and Nice on this side, and we got pink champagne on this side. Just want to even that out a little. What do you think?
I can see the difference from far away. This looks like more if you're gonna go to work, and this looks like more if you're gonna go out.
And that's a very good explanation. You know, so it's sometimes that's what I might also do. Let's do a day look, let's do an evening look. Again, giving them options on how they want their eyes to look. Okay, so did you do this mokaki in her on the side, or did you do a different color, Kayla?
We didn't do one.
the
We
two,
just
right?
did the
You did
two.
the two. So third colors, golly dang my cough, are an option again. Some people feel really uncomfortable with that third color. Some just want two. We're gonna kind of, for you, let's just do a third color on this side just to kind of demo. So I'm kind of, when I'm doing gonna do her crease, I'm loading the side, not the front of the brush, because it's gonna give me a much smaller surface to work on. So again, you're kind of now finding that center of that eye and kind of going, you know, around and down. You can kind of do a little V down here at the bottom. And again, it's gonna be all about that. And then again, it's gonna be come back, and you wanna do a much better job, you know, of blending it in. Now, again, it could be something that, you know, if you put it on and you're like, ugh, you can go back and put more highlighter back on to blend it out for her. But it kind of gives you a little more definition into that inner eye. When it comes to eyeliners, there's an empty space in the kit. That's just a little water bottle. Sorry, I cheat, but my freshener bottles I hang on to. They're great for filling with water and taking for vendor events with water to do. Now, angle brush is something you can buy, or it comes with the brush sets if you're buying the breaker sets. So, tip for you to know, any eyeshadow, if you use a wet angle brush, can become an eyeliner. My favorite one, I will be honest, as everybody on my team knows, is Phantom Gray. So, again, this is either something you can do or you can have them do, but you kind of want to just, you know, obviously go at the edge of her eye all the way to the end with the Phantom Gray.
And this is great for eyeliner for people who never wear makeup.
Makeup.
If they want something a little softer and less prominent showing, but just to give their eye that little outline that it wants or needs, you can do this, or they give them the option to try this.
All right, let's see. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes. So it's there, but it's not. I like it because it gives you an eyeliner without being so harsh as the black will be. Tanya brought her purple eyeliner, and we're gonna let her So eyeliners, you can let them put their eye, with the eyeliner. Ours obviously are retractables. They're really wonderful eyeliners. So go ahead.
Eyeliner is one thing that you can't do for them because there's no way to sanitize it. So unless you were to scrape it onto a
Yeah.
spatula for them to try and eyeline and use the
Some of them are like, some are using wipes to clean the ends. Some are just resharpening it. You can do that.
You resharpen it because
So-
it's pretty soft.
So you can do,
You could, I guess,
do
chop
that.
it off.
Kind of do.
Oh, I got a little chunk there.
Perfect.
Okay, so close your eyes. So this is the eye that Beth did with the eyeshadow. This is with our retractable eyeliner. Go ahead and open.
Okay, when it comes to mascara, as you know, right now we don't technically have any mascara in the books. There are some still left in the discontinued. There's some of our sensitives and some of the length lash names. So Tanya brought hers. If you are testing it, you never can use the wand that came in that mascara. You have to use, one of the disposables and put it in. Again, if she needs to come back, if you're using your tester and she needs to come back, you need to give her a new brush. You never want to give double dip with her. Now, since it's her own, she can double dip, so we'll let her put her mascara. Mascara is something I definitely never put on. I always let the client that I'm doing makeup on do her own. I just find it's a really difficult thing. I don't feel comfortable doing it, and I've never had one customer yet that said, "Oh, I don't want to do it. Can't you do it?" So let them go ahead.
I'm putting blush on.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about blush. Good call. Okay, so now we got that. So now we're gonna finish up with blush. You can, obviously use one of the blush brushes that you can buy with the kit. Blushes are definitely a very personal.
So if you use a blush brush like what you have, how do you sanitize that?
So again, good question. So if you are using any of these brushes
that are not disposable.
Again, one person and you can't. So if you've got 10 people that want to try blush, then buy the disposable blush brushes. Say that. That are as a consultant only item. If I know I'm only doing, for sure, like if I'm doing the hostess's makeup, I do use my personal brushes because I'm going to get a much better result with them. But then when I'm done, I go home, and even my angled brush that I use, I take these home and I use like my body wash, one of our products, our body wash, your face cleanser, something of our products to wash them and then let them air dry and then reuse them. So definitely do that. Now, the kit is pretty wonderful on our charts. It's telling you in the blushes, cool, neutral, warm. If I again will say, Tanya, is there one you typically would, tend to go towards on what you're feeling you would use on your skin?
Peach puff.
Okay, so she's gonna say she's gonna do the peach puff. So again, taking the brush, you kind of want to go pat off a little bit. Good word of advice is you want to start about 2 fingers away from their nose. You want to kind of do where they're natural, like if you would smile for a second time, you want to kind of do this natural area. The older somebody gets, the more you want to go up their cheek and kind of in a C motion. The reason is that it actually kind of gives the illusion of a facelift by going up farther. So you kind of want to just do, and again, I tend to go a little bit and, put on to kind of see what she's thinking. It's easier for me to put more on if she's a very, some people really like blush and some people want a very little bit. So I'm going to tell Tanya, I'm going to do another color on her other side. if you are uncertain of what you should do, obviously the neutrals are ones that are tending to be ones that most people can wear. I will be honest, the Naked Rose, as those people that have been trained on my team know, it is definitely my favorite neutral blush. Most people really will find they can wear that color. It's just a really color, no matter if there's pink, you know, and you'll have a lot of like even rosacea skin people will say, oh, I can't wear blush because I've got so much pink. But if they're using our dual actions, the dual actions have kind of calmed down that blush. And now with that Naked Rose, it just gives them a hint of color in the right area. So now they're really seeing a definition. All right, so now we're gonna ask Tanya if she's got a favorite side. And again, blush is personal, so she may still say, you know what, I still really like my side, and I'm fine with that. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but I wanna give them another choice.
It's always personal preference, especially even when color matching dual action foundation or just a regular foundation. You might get some of those customers who want to be darker than what they really are. So even if you give them the natural look, they might want a little heavier or darker foundation, and that's their choice.
I mean,
You can't really...
right, ultimately we're there to give them options, but ultimately please. I mean, I've had some, you know, that want this really, really pink, and we put it on, and personally, I don't think it looks that great on their skin, but they love it. And, you know, if I do another side and they're not liking as much, then you know what? Let them do what they want to do. It is their skin, their look. Okay, so what are you thinking?
I still like.
You still like that one better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I say this isn't bad. I like it, but I still like this one better.
Okay. Well, then we'll just kind of, we'll even you out a little better then.
I think if you were going out on the town, the peach puff that you originally put on does look a little bit more prominent, like you can see it better. It kind of gives that cheekbone a little more defined look. And the Naked Rose would be more for like if you were going to work, like you
If you
said.
just want something there without
Right.
something but again, you know, if you're somebody, I mean, I'm kind of a person that likes the little blush, and so, you know, I will wear I pretty much wear my, you know, my going out look and my day look as the same one. So, see, that's why I'm on the side here going. There you go, better. Okay, so then we're gonna finish up with lips. Again, lipstick is a really, really, really personal choice. And so again, I tend to say, okay, give them the catalog, you know, if you have to pick, what would you pick? I'll be honest, I do not own all the lipsticks. It just doesn't make sense to own them all. You know, if you want help in knowing, okay, if I have to pick 5 or 10 lipsticks I'd like to own, you know, definitely contact me because I can definitely tell you which ones I'm selling the most of. And obviously, those are the ones I'm going to tend to say, hey, would be more likely to have. So lipstick, lip gloss girl, or both?
A little bit of both.
Okay. Now, if you're going to test lipsticks, and Tanya had kind of picked a couple prior to starting. So she had picked Caramel, Bedazzle, and Wisteria. Now, when you're doing lipsticks, again, choices. You can do one side and one side, which you can do. I always start with the most neutral and least color, because if you're going to, you know, if she's not liking it, then I'm going to give her a little, you know, face cleanser and try to have her remove it to try to get that color off. You know,